If you own any one of the guns on this list, listen up, don't sell it. Not because I'm sentimental, but because these firearms aren't just tools. They're stories forged in steel, legends that hold value, history, and a kind of stubborn usefulness that refuses to fade. Today, I'm counting down the top 10 guns you should never sell: pistols and long guns that bleed heritage and appreciation. Stick around, because by the end, you'll be asking yourself which ones in your safe are quietly becoming the things you'll regret parting with. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button for Arms Advisor so you never miss deep dives like this, and let me know in the comments which of these you'd actually keep or already own. Ready? Let's go. Number 10. The Browning High Power. Imagine the last whisper of a genius, John Browning, putting the finishing touches on a design that would outlast him. That's the high power. It's not just a pistol, it's the swan song of a legend. Designed in the early 1930s and adopted by militaries across the globe, this single-action 9mm sits in the hands like it was made for you. 13+1 rounds, an all-steel frame, wood grips that wear a lovely vintage patina. It's the kind of gun that makes you want to hold it even when you don't have to. It shoots soft, it points naturally, and its balance is uncanny. Yes, it has Quirks magazine disconnect safeties, that old-school hammer bite, but for collectors and shooters who respect legacy, high-power originals often appreciate and bring home serious cash. Ask yourself, will the trade you get today be worth the history you lose tomorrow? Number 9. The Sig Sauer P226. If the high power is poetry, the P226 is precision engineering, the sort of pistol built like a watch and tuned like a race car. Born from European craftsmanship and adopted by elite units worldwide, the P226 is a full-size DASA workhorse that's earned its reputation in sweat and salt and sand. Chambered in 9mm .40 and even 357 SIG variants, it's a modular platform that refuses to fail. Slide it into your hands and you feel the solid weight of reliability. A long, smooth, double-action pull that gives way to a razor-sharp, single-action follow-up. It's heavy, yes, but that weight translates into stability and confidence when the hammer falls. For collectors, military bringbacks and older West German models are gold, both literally and figuratively. So before you list that P226 on the classifieds, think of every round it fired without complaint, and of the units that still trust it today. Number 8. The Heckler & Koch USP. German over-engineering wears many faces, but the USP is the one that says, "I will outlast you." Designed with endurance in mind, the USP isn't out to win beauty contests. It wants to be dependable after the mud, the salt spray, the thousands of rounds. Chambered in 45 ACP models that make recoil more forgiving than physics has any right to allow, the USP hides a recoil reduction system and a steel slide that just keeps going. It's modular, multiple firing modes, a manual safety Sonch decocker combo, and a trigger system built to take the heat. It passed some of NATO's harsher torture suites, and for good reason. This pistol thrives where others falter. Downsides? It's heavy by modern standards and not naturally optics ready, but for collectors and shooters who value durability over trend, an HK USP is an heirloom in waiting. Number 7. Glock 19 Gen 5. Say what you want about its utilitarian looks. The Glock 19 Gen 5 is the dependable center of the modern pistol universe. Compact enough to carry, roomy enough to shoot, and backed by an aftermarket ecosystem that's basically the internet's toolbox for handguns. The Gen 5 polished what Glock learned over decades and smoothed the rough edges. The marksman barrel improves accuracy. The grip is more universal without the old finger grooves, and reliability legendary. Glocks will run after being buried, dunked, and dropped into chaos. For many shooters, the Glock 19 is the baseline, a gun that defines what reliability looks like. If you're thinking about selling one because it's common, remember, common doesn't mean worthless, it means demand, aftermarket support, and steady resale value. Keep it. Number 6. The Lifeguard 22 LR. This one's a bit of a curveball. It's tiny, absurdly tiny, and its purpose is charm and concealment, not tactical dominance. The Lifeguard is the folding 22 that tucks into a wallet and becomes the conversation conversation piece every collector loves to show off. Yes, it's a single shot. Yes, it's not a defensive workhorse. But its ingenuity, that folding mechanism, the machining from aerospace-grade materials, the sheer audacity of making a working pistol the size of a credit card makes it an instant collector's prize. Limited production runs, and that, wait, that's real? Reaction at the range mean its value holds and often grows. If you own one, don't sell the conversation starter. Keep the oddball that makes people lean in. Number 5. Beretta 92FS. American service history and Italian flair collide in the Beretta 92FS. Ask any shooter who carried the M9 in the armed forces for decades, and you'll get a string of stories about reliability, the open slide design, and that satisfying weight. The 92FS is smooth to shoot. Its fixed barrel design gives it inherent accuracy potential, and its long service life in the U.S. military cements its place in modern firearms history. There are ergonomic quirks, larger grips, and a slide-mounted safety that confuses some, but the 92's presence on film and in service has given it a cultural heft collector's crave. Whether you keep it for nostalgia, shooting, or the simple fact that it makes a great safe centerpiece, the 92FS is one that appreciates in meaning and often in dollars. Number 4. Remington 870. If guns had national monuments, the Remington 870 would be carved in stone. Pump action reliability, simple maintenance, and a lineage stretching into the millions make the 870 more than a shotgun. It's an institution. From police cars to duck blinds, the 870 has been everywhere and done everything. Older pre-Freedom Group models with their steel receivers are especially prized, and the platform's aftermarket ecosystem is almost unfairly massive. Sure, modern production has its critics, and a basic 870 will bite with hefty loads, but owning one is owning a slice of American firearms culture. For families, hunters, and collectors alike, an 870 is a keeper. Number 3. The Luger P08. When we talk about firearms that are museum pieces and investments in one, the Luger sits near the top. This isn't a mass-market tool. It's an artifact, the gun that helped introduce the 9x19 cartridge to the world. The toggle lock action, the craftsmanship, the charm of those hand-fitted parts. It's a collector's dream. Lugers require care. Use lighter ammo, know their quirks, and be ready to pay for spare parts if necessary. But for anyone who values historical significance, owning a Luger is like owning a page from the 20th century. Prices reflect that. Military bringbacks and documented examples command premiums. If you have a Luger, you're not just holding a gun, you're holding history. Number 2. Beretta M9A4. For those who want the M9's classic reliability with modern features, the M9A4 is the answer. Threaded barrels, night sights, optics readiness. Beretta brought the old guard into the modern fight with this model, and it paid off. With 3 18-round magazines out of the box and a robust aluminum alloy frame, the M9A4 is a purpose-built evolution, not a Band-Aid. It's heavier and more complex than many striker-fired options, but that's the point. It's a platform built for duty, for suppression, for precision. Collectors and shooters who appreciate the blend of heritage with modern capability will want to keep this one rather than trade it for fashion. The M9A4 is an example of a classic classically improved, and that rarely goes out of style. And finally, number 1, the Smith & Wesson Model 29. This revolver occupies a special shelf in the cultural mind. The Model 29 is the kind of firearm that makes a movie moment permanent. Heavy, loud, and undeniably iconic. Chambered in .44 Magnum, built on S&W's N-frame, with that famous 6-shot cylinder and a barrel that thunders, the Model 29 is equal parts nostalgia and raw power. It's not easy to carry or polite at the range with Magnum ammo, but for collectors, the Model 29's cinematic legacy and the fact that vintage pinned and recessed examples are increasingly rare makes it a jewel. Revolvers age differently than semi-autos. They carry patina and story. If you own a Model 29, you own a piece of Americana. Keep it. So what ties these 10 together? Heritage, utility, and staying power. Some are modern stalwarts built to perform in the mud and rain. Others are artifacts that carry the weight of history and collector desire. Every gun on this list has a reason to be kept. Craftsmanship, innovation, battlefield pedigree, or sheer cultural resonance. Would any of them be the best fit for every shooter? No, but that's the point. Value isn't only measured in clicks and rounds fired. It's about stories, provenance, and the quiet appreciation that happens when you open the safe and touch such something with a pedigree. Now, a few final questions for you. Which of these would you protect in a safe deposit box? Which would you take to the range every month regardless of price or practicality? And perhaps the most dangerous question of all, which ones are you hiding from yourself because you already know you'll regret selling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them, and I'm always curious which guns ignite debate in this community. If this list made you rethink a sale or two, hit that like button. If you want more breakdowns like top guns to buy before they skyrocket, or deep dives into the history behind each model here, subscribe to Arms Advisor and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. We've got reviews, valuation tips, and collector profiles coming every week, and I'd hate for you to miss the one that saves you from your biggest regret. Okay, your turn. Tell me which of these you already own, which one surprised you, and which of your own favorites you'd add to a never sell list. I'll read every comment and pick a few to feature in the next video. Until then, store them safe, shoot them responsibly, and remember, some guns aren't meant to leave the family.